I am a women's rights advocate, naturally, because I'm a woman. I think that for women, we wake up every day in the world and we have a right to have access like every other single human being. Well, my father was a politician. I was born into it, raised with it, and I despised it. But I have realized that it is my obligation to take part in politics. By simply living my life, people call me a feminist because I stand up for my human right, period. Being a feminist to me is that natural. The same thing about liberalism. So when we talk about free trade, when we talk about freedom of speech, when we talk about the freedom to believe the way you want to believe, freedom of conscience, these things to me are so normal. It's not so much about reading about liberalism or feminism and then becoming one. No. It's about us being human and defining what that means to us. We're just simply saying we want to live in a world that respects human beings. I think liberalism has found me the way feminism has found me. I think it's an expression of my human aspirations. And when I see those human aspirations, I go into my community understanding the same, understanding that every single community member in my community needs the exact same things I need. I think Africa has a huge privilege that we don't use. In our governance system, we also understood where the cattle go to graze, where the land you grow crops on is, where you live as a community, where you draw water. All those things were already there. It's not like we did not have governance systems. For African nations to move ahead, we have a double burden. We have the governance systems that we adopted from the colonial times, and we have our own governance system. If we don't assess ourselves to ask ourselves, how do we develop as Africans, we will always have a foreign conversation within our spaces. And we would try as much as possible to convince ourselves that that which is foreign will work for us, which never does. Every young person has an obligation to develop their nation. It doesn't matter whether you're a woman or not. Sure, it's tougher for a female. It's much tougher for a Black person. That's a reality, but it's not impossible. And when we make it possible and when we participate, we set the standard and we change the dynamics. When we change the dynamics, life becomes better for all of us.